If you hate MrBeast, what I'm about to show you will seem unethical and like a clear abuse of fame for money.
Technically, everyone watching this video has more money than me.
MrBeast is known for giving away money, but it appears he's also been quietly taking it. A pattern has emerged where he hypes an NFT project, then cashes out. This has happened 3 times, with the latest incident being the most notable. The person who uncovered this isn't just a hater. He's a trusted investigator who's proven to expose financial scams. Let's start with the first deal that sparked this story. In 2021, at the height of the NFT boom, MrBeast started talking about CryptoPunks, a set of collectible images. He told his audience they were worth checking out, which on its own seems harmless. However, according to Coffeezilla, MrBeast also invested $100,000 in a related crypto project called Super during its pre-sale. Soon after, millions of Super tokens appeared in his wallet. This isn't a coincidence. It's a classic pump scheme. Get in early, wait for a big name to draw attention, then cash out once the hype builds up. What do you think MrBeast's endgame is here? Like and subscribe to StoryCorps for more.
MrBeast sold about $200,000 worth of these.
MrBeast's recent tweet sparked a frenzy, resulting in $200,000 worth of tokens being sold off. What's really interesting here is the timing. On May 12th, he responded to a hype post with a simple super, and within 72 hours, those tokens were gone. Umar Nurmagomedov wasn't involved in this, but the pattern that emerged is worth examining. It looks like a classic pump and dump scenario. Now, MrBeast's team had to address the issue, and their response was predictable. They came up with a convenient explanation that would soon become a familiar refrain. But is it really that convincing, guys?
These investments were made and managed in consultation with industry experts to ensure full compliance with all appropriate rules and regulations. The wallet is not owned or managed by Jimmy, but rather a fund led by respected and sophisticated managers. The fund closely evaluated and scrutinized hundreds and hundreds of opportunities, which resulted in several investments. Some have been more successful, others less, and others still works in progress. The fund's investment strategies apply the same rigorous standards as many other experienced investors.
Coffeezilla tried to get some answers from a crypto fund, but what he got was a statement that sounded like it was written by a PR team. When you cut through the jargon, it basically said the fund's managers made the same calls Jimmy would have at the same time. It's interesting they're called sophisticated managers, given the crypto industry's reputation for lacking oversight. If their explanation was genuine, you'd think they'd be open to a few simple questions. But that's not what happened when Coffeezilla tried to ask them. What did happen is even more surprising.
I didn't get a response.
For months, MrBeast offered nothing but silence after the initial questions. If you've genuinely got nothing to hide, radio silence is a strange strategy. It often looks far more suspicious than just answering the original claim head-on. Now, if we dig a little deeper, the wallet at the center of this wasn't even directly confirmed as MrBeast's. Instead, it traced back to an account named Wu-Tang Clan, which itself connected to crypto enthusiast Jason Williams. Jason's public activity includes tweeting about NFTs, wearing the merch, and linking his own brand to that very wallet. It seemed like a convenient layer of distance, precisely where you'd expect one. Except MrBeast effectively shredded that distance himself. In an old podcast appearance, he casually recounted buying CryptoPunks alongside Logan Paul. This happened after Gary Vee reportedly rallied them onto a late-night call, apparently yelling that CryptoPunks were about to be the next Facebook. That's not a picture of someone completely hands-off, letting a fund make every decision without his input. That's someone personally present for the pitch, personally deciding to buy in, and personally talking about it all on a podcast bearing his own name. You can't have it both ways, but MrBeast certainly tried. But the most damning example, by far, isn't even the first one. It revolves around a token called Earn, directly linked to a charity auction for Team Seas, MrBeast's own ocean cleanup initiative. This was supposed to be the feel-good side of his brand. The auction was scheduled to run for 2 full months. Yet, halfway through, MrBeast's fund allegedly dumped $2 million worth of Earn tokens. This move tanked the token's value, leaving buyers with little more than worthless digital assets. What do you think of these tactics? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to StoryCorps.
Regardless of your intentions, selling tokens within a month of your 2-month charity auction is wrong, stupid, and unethical? Yes, I think that is.
MrBeast just did something that's raising eyebrows. He's selling off the exact token tied to his own charity, right in the middle of a charity auction he set up himself. That's not just a little unethical, guys. It's literally taking money away from people who thought they were supporting a good cause, like ocean cleanup. But here's the thing, it gets even more ironic. One of the sponsors of Teamseas, the charity behind the auction, is none other than Coca-Cola, a company that consistently shows up on lists of the biggest plastic polluters. So, you've got a charity trying to clean up the ocean, sponsored by a company that's contributing to the problem. And then, to make matters worse, the price and excitement are at their peak when the rug gets pulled. It's almost too crazy to believe, but thankfully, MrBeast has handed us this story on a silver platter. Now, let's look at XCAD, a project that's all about creating tokens tied to big names like MrBeast and KSI. Investors were genuinely stoked about the idea, not just because of the famous faces attached to it, but because of the potential it had to actually work. What do you think? Can a project like XCAD really succeed with this kind of controversy surrounding it? Check out more stories like this at StoryCorps.
The only reason we know MrBeast was in the presale is that there were several articles about it bragging about that fact. Once again, MrBeast's name was used to promote this instead of the fund itself. And internally to investors, I have to say, this built up a lot of excitement, not just because MrBeast is a huge name, but because XCAD had what's called creator tokens. So the idea to some investors is that, well, if they're investing MrBeast and KSI, what if they were ever to launch creator tokens? That would be mad.
The idea alone of two platform giants launching their own creator tokens was enough to send real money pouring into the XCAD project fast. But then, MrBeast's investment fund, despite publicly promising to hold XCAD tokens long-term, allegedly started flipping them shortly after launch. XCAD's own founder even personally reached out, warning that this behavior would damage MrBeast's reputation if it kept up. But according to what happened next, the fund just kept right on selling. Reputation warning be damned. When you line up three projects, Super, Earn, and XCAD, the pattern becomes undeniable. Different tokens, different projects, completely different timelines, yet they all follow the exact same playbook. It's about leveraging MrBeast's name and massive reach to generate hype, letting the value soar on the back of that trust, then quietly selling off before the hype fades. And guess who's left holding the bag? Everyone else. Once, you could call it a fluke. But when it plays out the exact same way 3 times, it's pretty hard to dismiss. What makes this really tough to defend is that MrBeast, who once even tried to pretend he was flat broke, clearly doesn't need this kind of money. Do you think MrBeast's fund knowingly used his name to manipulate these markets? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to StoryCorps.
Is anything I say? So, I mean, because they're like, you're a billionaire. I'm like, that's net worth. I have negative money right now. I'm borrowing money. That's how little money I have. Technically, everyone watching this video has more money than me and their bank account if you subtract the equity value of my company, which doesn't buy me McDonald's in the morning.
Coffeezilla isn't having it, and honestly, neither can we. This isn't a guy struggling to make ends meet, forced into shady deals out of desperation. He's already sitting on a massive online platform and fortune, yet he's still trying to milk extra cash from fans who invested their hard-earned savings based on the trust they had in him. What's interesting is that Coffeezilla isn't trying to spin this as a clear-cut tale of good V's. Evil. He's acknowledging there's more to the story. What do you think is really going on here? Like and subscribe to StoryCorps for more.
You love MrBeast, there will be an explanation at every turn and a scapegoat. But if you hate MrBeast, what I'm about to show you will seem unethical and like a clear abuse of fame for
Abubakar Nurmagomedov isn't involved in this story, but let's look at someone who is. MrBeast. He's been using his fame to leverage money from his fans on 3 separate occasions. The issue here is that when you're as influential as MrBeast, your name can move real markets, whether you're making the trade yourself or a fund is doing it for you. His fans invest because they trust him, not some anonymous fund manager. That kind of influence comes with real responsibility, or at least the obligation to answer direct questions instead of going quiet for months. None of this needed to happen if MrBeast had been transparent from the start or stayed out of unregulated areas of the internet. Instead, we've got ghosted questions, recycled excuses, and fans who trusted him and ended up with tokens worth almost nothing. So, what's really going on here? Is this a string of bad judgment calls from people MrBeast trusted to handle his money? Or is it was my fund? Not me, just a convenient excuse for a fortune that keeps growing. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe to StoryCorps.